What does OMM mean to me? It's such a large part of our life. It's very hard to articulate what it is.
Playing together and meeting together in one space in real time, in real space, the energy that is kind of like contributed by everybody, and then memories from the concerts and everything.
Mentorship.
Passion, dedication to the art form, and loads of enthusiasm.
I think OMM is a place where we create experiences, musical experiences, which are meaningful for us as musicians, as volunteer musicians, and for our community, our audience, whoever is sharing it with us. I think it's as simple as that.
Even I myself have met my wife through OMM, and many strong relationships and friendships have definitely been built through OMM. And I think we really do have a strong bond that we want to share with others.
I grew up there, learning from plenty of fantastic people and leader mentors and people more experienced and older than me. And hopefully now I'm in a position where I can do that for the younger ones.
Music is more than a job and a pastime. In fact, music is a lifestyle. For many of them, music making is literally part of their lives. We are very blessed to have many world-renowned musicians coming together to work with us. We have composers and arrangers writing music with respect to the OMM orchestra sound in their mind. We have teachers, students, we have friends coming together to make music like a family. This is the story of OMM.
Well, it all began when a group of young people approached me and shared that they wanted to start up an orchestra of their own and asked if I would help them. And I thought it was a good idea, but obviously putting an orchestra together is complicated business. So I suggested that they come up with a working document and propose what this orchestra might be like. And that began an 18-month period of concretizing ideas, exploring possibilities for this as yet unnamed orchestra, which we called the entity. And so that was actually the genesis of it. Artistic ideas and outcomes weren't the biggest challenge. One of the biggest challenge had to be, what was the identity of this orchestra? Who was it going to serve? How could it make an impact? Quite early on in the life of the orchestra, the artistic team that led the orchestra had proposed the idea of performing Mahler's Second Symphony. So that is a big challenge for a young orchestra made mostly out of non-professional musicians. It is a project that required substantial resources, not least of which 2 soloists and a large chorus. Of course, that being history, and the performances of that work became synonymous with the early history of the orchestra, because the orchestra was able to overcome these significant challenges. And the outcomes of that performance really opened doors for the orchestra.
It is very difficult for a large group to suddenly break up into, let's say, solo or chamber music ensembles and carry on activities on a smaller scale. So one of the things that we have to look at is working with lesser numbers of people on stage and without audiences. The good thing is we've got some monetary support from the government with funds allocated to digital productions. This is something we've been trying to do for freelancers, especially for performers and composers in the music industry, especially since many gigs have been cancelled. One of the other challenges would be in keeping morale up, because obviously it's been a rather depressing time for many, not being able to practice their art. Obviously, in addition to all the other changes to social and even family life that they will have to go through in these last couple of months, and getting used to performing together again and getting in touch with the instrument. And this is a challenge which we might not have seen before or have had to face before.
Music is really that food that gives us the energy and especially hope that can help us through this period.
Now music is made more accessible to anyone to watch it, around the world. Because people are inspired, they start to create their own music.
So music also provide us with the creative outlet for also artists to express themselves, to really bring the community together and to help us through these challenging times.